When you close your eyes and drift into sleep, something remarkable happens. Your brain, that 3-pound universe inside your skull, begins a nightly ritual of neural activity that mirrors nothing less than the birth of the cosmos itself. This is not poetic metaphor but scientific reality, rooted in the convergence of cosmology, neuroscience, particle physics, and evolutionary biology. The same fundamental laws that govern the expansion of our universe from a singular point 13.8 billion years ago operate within the neural architecture of your mind, creating patterns of connectivity that mirror cosmic evolution with astonishing fidelity. Consider the moment of awakening consciousness each morning. From the void of deep sleep, neural activity ignites across your brain. First a spark, then an explosion of activity propagating outward in all directions. This mirror of the Big Bang is not coincidental but rather a profound reflection of nature's tendency to repeat its most successful patterns across scales both cosmic and cellular. To understand this connection, we must journey both outward to the edge of observable reality and inward to the microscopic universe of neurons, synapses, and quantum probabilities that construct our experience of consciousness. We begin with that first moment of cosmic existence, the Big Bang itself, not as an isolated historical event but as an ongoing process reflected in the very structure of our minds. In 1927, Belgian physicist Georges Lemaitre first proposed what would later be known as the Big Bang theory, suggesting that our universe originated from a primeval atom or singularity. His radical idea gained support when Edwin Hubble observed that galaxies were moving away from each other, indicating an expanding universe. This expansion, traced backward, pointed to a moment of incredible density and temperature, a beginning point for space, time, matter, and energy. The early universe existed as a superheated plasma of elementary particles, a state so alien to our everyday experience that it seems almost theoretical. Yet this plasma state shares remarkable similarities with the electrical, chemical, and quantum properties of the human brain. Both systems begin from states of high potential energy and evolve through phases of rapid expansion, cooling, and increasing complexity. In the first infinitesimal fraction of a second after the Big Bang, the universe expanded exponentially during a period called cosmic inflation. Similarly, when a thought forms in your mind, it begins as a quantum potential across neural networks before inflating into conscious awareness through a cascade of electrochemical signals. Dr. Lisa Randall of Harvard University, a leading theoretical physicist, explains, "The universe evolves from simplicity to complexity, just as neural networks evolve from random firing to organized thought. The mathematical descriptions of these processes share striking similarities. The parallels become even more pronounced when we examine the process of neural development. A human embryo begins with a neural tube, a simple structure that will eventually become the brain and spinal cord. From this relatively homogeneous beginning, neurons multiply exponentially, forming connections that increase in complexity with each passing day. This mirrors cosmic evolution, where simple hydrogen atoms eventually formed stars, which forged heavier elements, creating the conditions for planets, complex molecules, and eventually life." Neuroscientist Dr. Christoph Koch of the Allen Institute for Brain Science observed, "The human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons connected by 100 trillion synapses. This complex network emerges from a relatively simple starting point through principles of self-organization that mirror cosmic structure formation. The formation of neural networks follows principles remarkably similar to those governing galaxy formation. In the early universe, quantum fluctuations in the nearly uniform cosmic microwave background created regions of slightly higher density. Gravity amplified these initial irregularities, drawing in more matter, eventually forming the first stars and galaxies. Your brain develops through a similar process of amplified differences, neural connections that fire together wire together, creating increasingly specialized networks from an initially more uniform structure. Stanford University neurobiologist Robert Sapolsky notes, "The brain is not just metaphorically similar to the universe. it operates according to the same fundamental physical principles. Both are systems where simple rules applied repeatedly generate breathtaking complexity. Even more fascinating is how both the universe and the brain organize themselves into networks with similar topological properties. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego discovered that the cosmic web, the large-scale structure of the universe composed of galaxy clusters connected by filaments, shares the same mathematical properties as the connectome, the map of neural connections in the human brain. The similarity is striking, says physicist Franco Vazza, who co-authored a 2017 study comparing cosmic and neural networks. The human brain has approximately 69 billion neurons, while the observable universe contains at least 100 billion galaxies. Both systems show a similar degree of complexity and self-organization. This structural similarity extends to function as well. Information in the brain travels along neural pathways, with some neurons acting as hubs that connect distant regions of the brain. Similarly, in the cosmic web, matter and energy flow along filaments connecting galactic superclusters that serve as the universe's information hubs. The temporal dimension adds another layer to this parallel. The universe evolves through distinct epochs: inflation, radiation domination, matter domination, and now dark energy expansion. Your brain similarly progresses through developmental stages, from the rapid neural proliferation in infancy to pruning in childhood, and the refinement of networks in adolescence and adulthood. This cosmic parallel appears in sleep as well. During deep sleep, your brain engages in a remarkable process of neural inflation and contraction. In 2017, researchers at Boston University discovered that during non-REM sleep, cerebrospinal fluid flows into the brain in pulsating waves, clearing away metabolic waste products. This periodic expansion and contraction of the brain's interstitial space mirrors the oscillating universe theories proposed by some cosmologists. Even more remarkably, during REM sleep, when most dreaming occurs, neural activity creates complex patterns that neuroscientist Dr. Rodolfo Linares describes as a universe of intrinsic activity. The brain generates its own reality, independent of sensory input, creating a self-contained cosmos of dream experience that follows its own internal logic and physics. A miniature Big Bang of consciousness happening nightly. At the quantum level, the parallels become even more profound. Quantum field theory, which describes how particles interact at the most fundamental level, applies not just to the physics of the early universe but potentially to processes within neurons. Quantum coherence, the ability of quantum systems to maintain specific relationships between different states, may play a crucial role in both cosmic inflation and neural processing. Sir Roger Penrose, Nobel Prize-winning physicist, and Stuart Hameroff, anesthesiologist and consciousness researcher, proposed in their orchestrated objective reduction theory that quantum processes in microtubules, protein structures within neurons, may contribute to consciousness. While controversial, this theory suggests that consciousness emerges from quantum computations within the brain, potentially connecting our subjective experience to fundamental quantum fields that originated in the early universe. This quantum connection becomes particularly relevant when we consider the vacuum energy of space, the lowest energy state of quantum fields that permeates the universe. Calculations suggest this vacuum energy should be enormously high, yet the observed cosmological constant is surprisingly small. Similarly, the brain maintains a delicate balance of energy states, with neural activity poised at a critical point between order and chaos, what neuroscientists call the edge of chaos, that optimizes information processing. Theoretical physicist Leonard Susskind of Stanford University notes, both the universe and the brain exist in states far from equilibrium, maintaining complexity through constant energy flow. This shared thermodynamic property allows both systems to generate and maintain complex structures. The concept of entropy, the measure of disorder in a system, provides another fascinating parallel. The universe as a whole increases in entropy according to the second law of thermodynamics. However, locally complex systems like galaxies, stars, planets, and living organisms can decrease entropy by consuming energy. Your brain is perhaps the most entropy-reducing system known, creating order from chaos through the constant processing of information and energy. Neuroscientist Carl Friston formalized this concept in the free energy principle, suggesting that biological systems, especially brains, work to minimize the difference between their internal models and external reality, essentially reducing surprise or free energy. This principle applies across scales from cellular processes to entire organisms, and potentially to cosmic evolution itself. The parallels extend to the mysterious dark components of our cosmos. Dark energy, which constitutes about 68% of the universe's energy mass, drives the accelerating expansion of space. Dark matter, making up about 27%, provides the gravitational scaffolding for galaxy formation. Together, these invisible components shape the visible universe. Similarly, the conscious mind represents only a small fraction of total brain activity. Most neural processing occurs non-consciously, forming an invisible scaffold that shapes our thoughts, decisions, and perceptions. Neurologist David Eagleman refers to this as the hidden mind, drawing explicit parallels to cosmology's dark components. Just as dark matter and dark energy shape the visible cosmos, unconscious processes shape our conscious experience, Eagleman explains. Both represent the larger, unseen reality behind the observable phenomena. This brings us to one of the most profound connections, the concept of emergence. In both the cosmos and the brain, complex systems and properties emerge from simpler components interacting according to basic rules. Consciousness emerges from neurons that individually show no signs of awareness. Similarly, stars, planets, and ultimately life emerge from hydrogen atoms following the basic rules of physics. Nobel laureate physicist Philip Anderson captured this principle in his seminal 1972 paper, More is Different, explaining how new properties emerge at different levels of complexity. The same fundamental principle applies to both cosmic and neural evolution. Complexity breeds entirely new phenomena that cannot be predicted from underlying components alone. The mathematics of network theory further cements this relationship. Both the cosmic web and the connectome display small-world network properties, where most nodes connect through relatively few steps despite the vast size of the overall network. Both exhibit similar clustering coefficients and degree distributions, suggesting underlying organizational principles that transcend specific physical substrates. A 2020 study published in Frontiers in Physics compared the neuronal network of the human brain with the cosmic web of galaxies, finding remarkable similarities in their network properties, including connectivity, clustering, and modularity. The researchers concluded that these similarities suggest a deeper principle of organization that spans vastly different scales. Beyond structure and function, the brain and universe share evolutionary trajectories. Both systems evolve toward greater complexity and information processing capacity. Cosmic evolution proceeds from hydrogen to stars to planets to life to intelligence. Neural evolution advances from simple stimulus response mechanisms in primitive organisms to the complex cognitive capabilities of the human brain. This evolutionary parallel reveals something profound. The universe seems predisposed toward complexity and information processing. As physicist Paul Davies notes, the laws of physics seem remarkably well-tuned to permit the emergence of complexity. The same laws that allow for cosmic structure also enable neural complexity. The concept of criticality provides another bridge between cosmic and neural phenomena. Critical systems balance on the boundary between order and disorder, enabling maximum information processing and adaptation. The brain maintains itself near this critical state, as evidenced by the power law distributions of neural avalanches, cascades of firing neurons that follow patterns mathematically similar to self-organized critical systems like sandpiles or forest fires. Cosmologists have observed that the universe itself appears finely balanced at critical values for fundamental constants. The cosmological constant, the strength of fundamental forces, and the mass of elementary particles all seem precisely tuned to allow complexity to emerge. This cosmic criticality mirrors the brain's poised state, suggesting a deep connection between cosmic conditions and neural function. The nature of time offers yet another parallel. Einstein's theory of relativity reveals that time is not absolute but relative, flowing at different rates depending on gravity and velocity. Recent neuroscience research suggests that time perception in the brain is similarly malleable, constructed rather than passively experienced. Our sense of time depends on attention, emotional state, and neural processing speed rather than an objective cosmic clock. Time is a construction of the brain, explains neuroscientist David Eagleman. The brain creates our perception of time through complex neural processes that bear striking resemblance to how space-time emerges in physics. The connection extends to information processing. The universe can be conceptualized as a vast information processing system, with physical laws determining how information propagates and transforms. Black holes, quantum mechanics, and thermodynamics all involve fundamental limits on information flow and storage. Your brain, too, operates as an information processor, with similar constraints on information capacity, transfer rates, and energy requirements. Physicist John Wheeler captured this connection with his phrase, "it from bit," suggesting that physical reality emerges from information. This perspective unites the informational nature of both cosmic and neural systems. The brain-universe parallel reaches its most profound expression in our capacity for abstract thought. Through the emergent property of consciousness, the human brain has developed the ability to conceptualize and mathematically model the entire cosmos. We have, in effect, internalized the universe, creating neural representations of reality from subatomic particles to superclusters of galaxies. Astronomer Carl Sagan famously observed, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." This self-reference completes a remarkable loop. The universe, through billions of years of evolution, has produced brains capable of understanding the universe. The neural Big Bang of human consciousness allows the actual Big Bang to be comprehended. This self-reference is not merely philosophical but has physical roots. The atoms in your brain, the carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and trace elements that form your neurons, were forged in the hearts of stars that exploded billions of years ago. The physical substrate of your consciousness consists of recycled star material, arranged into the most complex structure known in the universe. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson puts it succinctly, "We are not simply in the universe is in us." This is literally true. The elements of your brain originated in cosmic processes, and the organization of your neural networks reflects cosmic principles. Even the phenomenon of memory shows cosmic parallels. When you remember an event, you are not retrieving a static recording but reconstructing it anew each time, combining fragments of information stored across distributed neural networks. This process mirrors how cosmologists reconstruct the early universe from fragments of evidence like cosmic microwave background radiation, element abundance, and galactic distribution. The reconstruction is never perfect. Memory, like cosmological models, contains distortions and gaps filled in through prediction and inference. Both systems create workable models rather than perfect representations, balancing accuracy against computational efficiency. Language itself, the symbolic system through which humans communicate and think abstractly, reflects cosmic organization. Linguistics reveals that human languages, regardless of culture, show hierarchical structure, recursion, and network properties similar to both neural organization and cosmic structure. The ability to nest ideas within ideas, to recursively build meaning, mirrors the nested hierarchies found in both neural networks and cosmic structures. Noam Chomsky's concept of universal grammar suggests an innate neural capacity for language structured in ways that reflect deeper organizational principles in nature. The mathematician Richard Montague demonstrated that natural language follows logical structures similar to those found in mathematics and physics, suggesting a deep connection between how we communicate and how the universe is organized. Dreams represent another fascinating parallel. During REM sleep, your brain generates complex, simulated realities independent of external input. These internally generated worlds follow their own physics and logic, similar to how theoretical physicists propose the existence of multiple universes with different physical laws in multiverse theories. Neuroscientist and dream researcher Robert Stickgold explains, dreams are the brain's own multiverse, creating alternative realities that help us process information and prepare for future possibilities. This internal multiverse generation has evolutionary advantages, allowing organisms to simulate potential futures without risking actual harm. The quantum nature of reality introduces further parallels. Quantum mechanics reveals that particles exist as probability waves until observed, existing in multiple potential states simultaneously. Similarly, the brain operates in a constant state of prediction, maintaining multiple potential interpretations of sensory data until context collapses these possibilities into conscious perception. This predictive processing framework, developed by neuroscientist Carl Friston, suggests that the brain constantly generates predictions about incoming sensory information, with conscious experience emerging from the resolution of differences between predictions and actual input. This mirrors quantum measurement, where probability distributions collapse into definite states upon observation. Physicist David Bohm proposed that reality consists of an explicate order, the observable universe, that unfolds from an implicate order, a deeper level of organization. This concept has been applied to consciousness by neuroscientist Carl Pribram, who suggested that memory and perception operate according to holographic principles, with information distributed throughout the brain similar to how information is distributed in a hologram. The holographic principle in physics, the idea that all information contained in a volume of space can be represented on its boundary, finds a parallel in how the brain stores information in distributed networks rather than specific locations. Both systems encode information non-locally, creating robust and redundant information storage. The concept of symmetry breaking provides another deep connection. In the early universe, perfect symmetry existed between fundamental forces. As the universe cooled, these symmetries broke, differentiating into the four fundamental forces we observe today. Neural development follows a similar path, with initially undifferentiated cells breaking symmetry to specialize into different neuron types with specific functions. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, mirrors the adaptability of cosmic structures. Both systems demonstrate resilience through redundancy and adaptation, responding to changing conditions through reorganization rather than fixed responses. The brain-universe connection extends to the concept of boundaries and horizons. In cosmology, the observable universe is limited by the cosmic horizon, the maximum distance from which light has had time to reach us since the Big Bang. Similarly, consciousness has horizons, limits to what we can be aware of at any given moment. Both systems operate within constrained information spheres that expand with time. The phenomenon of attention in neuroscience parallels the observer effect in quantum physics. In both cases, the act of focusing changes the system being observed. When you direct attention to a specific aspect of experience, neural representations of that information are enhanced while others are suppressed. Similarly, observation in quantum systems collapses probability distributions into specific states. Perhaps most profoundly, both the universe and the brain demonstrate a tendency toward increasing complexity and information processing capacity. Physicist Jeremy England has proposed that systems driven by external energy sources naturally evolve toward states that more efficiently dissipate energy and increase entropy, a principle he calls dissipation-driven adaptation. This applies to both cosmic structure formation and the evolution of biological complexity, including brains. The human brain consumes approximately 20% of the body's energy, while constituting only 2% of its mass. This energy efficiency, the ability to process vast amounts of information with relatively low energy consumption, parallels the efficient information processing seen in physical laws. The elegance and efficiency of mathematical descriptions of physical reality suggest that the universe itself optimizes information processing. Recent developments in artificial neural networks provide another perspective on this connection. Deep learning systems, inspired by brain structure, have proven remarkably effective at identifying patterns in complex data. When applied to cosmological data, these neural network approaches have identified patterns in cosmic structure that traditional analysis missed. The fact that brain-inspired algorithms effectively model cosmic phenomena suggests deep structural similarities between neural and cosmic organization. The phenomenon of emergence takes center stage in both cosmic and neural evolution. Consciousness emerges from non-conscious neurons just as life emerges from non-living molecules, planets emerge from dust clouds, and stars emerge from hydrogen gas. Each level of emergence introduces properties and capabilities not present in constituent parts. Neuroscientist Michael Gazzaniga describes emergence in the brain. Mental states emerge from the interactions of neurons, but cannot be reduced to neural activity alone. Cosmologist Sean Carroll similarly notes that macroscopic properties of the universe emerge from microscopic physics in ways that require new explanatory frameworks at each level. This emergence extends to the concept of meaning itself. Meaning emerges from neural activity as patterns that connect to other patterns, creating webs of association that constitute understanding. Similarly, meaning in cosmic evolution emerges as complexity increases, with simple physical processes eventually giving rise to systems capable of representing and interpreting information. The concept of self-organization applies equally to cosmic and neural development. Complex systems naturally organize themselves into coherent structures without external direction. Galaxy formation, stellar nucleosynthesis, planetary development, and eventually the emergence of life all represent self-organizing processes governed by fundamental physical principles. Neural development follows similar principles, with connections forming, strengthening, and pruning based on use patterns rather than centralized control. Information theorist Claude Shannon's work on communication provides another bridge between cosmic and neural phenomena. Shannon's mathematical framework for quantifying information applies equally well to neural signaling and cosmic radiation. Both systems can be analyzed in terms of signal, noise, channel capacity, and information density. The human drive to understand the cosmos represents a completion of this loop. The universe evolved brains capable of comprehending their own origins. When cosmologists develop theories about the Big Bang, they are engaging in an act of cosmic self-reference, using emergent neural complexity to model the conditions that eventually made that neural complexity possible. Physicist Freeman Dyson captured this connection. In some sense, the universe knew we were coming. The fundamental constants and physical laws that allow for complex chemistry, planetary formation, and eventually life and intelligence seem remarkably well-tuned for these outcomes. This observation, formalized as the anthropic principle, suggests either incredible cosmic luck or deeper principles connecting conscious observation with cosmic evolution. String theory and its mathematical formulations offer another parallel. The vibrating strings that potentially form the foundation of all particles and forces in the universe share mathematical similarities with the oscillating neural patterns that constitute consciousness. Both can be described using similar mathematical tools from harmonic analysis. The brain's capacity for mental time travel, imagining past events and potential futures, mirrors the way physics describes time as a dimension rather than a flow. Einstein's block universe concept, where past, present, and future exist simultaneously in four-dimensional spacetime, finds a parallel in how the brain encodes temporal relationships as spatial patterns of neural activity. Memory consolidation during sleep, when the brain strengthens important connections and prunes less useful ones, parallels theories of cosmic inflation, where quantum fluctuations were selectively amplified to become the seeds of galaxies. Both processes involve selective enhancement of specific patterns within a larger field of possibilities. The brain's default mode network, active when the mind is at rest and engaged in self-referential thinking, bears striking resemblance to the cosmic web in both structure and function. Both represent backgrounds against which more directed activity occurs, and both maintain connectivity across vast distances. Recent research by neuroscientist Jeff Hawkins suggests that the neocortex, the wrinkled outer layer of the brain responsible for our most advanced cognitive capabilities, operates on a single algorithmic principle applied repeatedly across different sensory and cognitive domains. This thousand brains theory proposes that the cortex consists of thousands of independent but similar predictive models, each learning different aspects of the world. This mirrors how the same physical laws operate uniformly across the cosmos while generating diverse structures and phenomena. The fractal nature of both neural and cosmic structures provides another connection. Fractals, patterns that repeat at different scales, appear in both the branching structure of neurons and the branching filaments of the cosmic web. This self-similarity across scales suggests underlying organizational principles that transcend specific physical implementations. The phenomenon of synchronization appears in both systems as well. Neural oscillations synchronize across brain regions to facilitate communication and information integration. Similarly, cosmic structures demonstrate synchronization effects, with galaxy clusters influencing each other's evolution through gravitational interactions across vast distances. Information integration theory, developed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi, proposes that consciousness emerges from integrated information, the amount of information generated by a complex of elements that exceeds the information generated by its parts. This theory applies potentially not just to brains but to any sufficiently complex, integrated system, raising profound questions about the boundaries of consciousness in both biological and cosmic systems. The speed of neural transmission, approximately 100 meters per second along myelinated axons, is vastly slower than the speed of light. Yet through massive parallelism and efficient network architecture, the brain achieves computational capacities that allow it to model and predict events occurring at light speed and beyond. This computational efficiency mirrors the elegance of physical laws, which achieve vast complexity through relatively simple underlying principles. Even the concept of beauty connects cosmic and neural phenomena. Mathematical beauty, the elegance, symmetry, and simplicity that physicists seek in their theories, activates the same neural reward systems as other forms of beauty. The brain recognizes and values patterns that efficiently encode information, whether in art, music, or equations describing fundamental physics. Physicist Paul Dirac famously stated, "A physical law must possess mathematical beauty." This aesthetic principle has proven remarkably effective in identifying successful physical theories. The neural basis of mathematical beauty suggests a deep connection between how our brains evaluate patterns and how the universe is structured. The principle of least action in physics, that particles and fields evolve along paths that minimize a quantity called action, finds a parallel in neural processing. The brain appears to follow similar efficiency principles, minimizing energy expenditure while maximizing information processing through optimized neural pathways. Your experience of consciousness itself, the unified field of awareness that constitutes your moment-to-moment experience, bears striking similarities to unified field theories in physics, which seek to describe all fundamental forces within a single mathematical framework. Both represent integration of diverse elements into coherent wholes that follow consistent internal rules. The brain's capacity for abstraction, representing physical reality through symbols and concepts, allows it to develop mathematical models that describe cosmic processes with remarkable accuracy. This suggests an underlying compatibility between neural information processing and cosmic structure, as though the universe is inherently comprehensible to the brains it produced. Physicist Eugene Wigner described this as the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics in the natural sciences. The fact that mathematical structures created by human brains can accurately model physical reality suggests a deep congruence between neural and cosmic organization. The phenomenon of critical periods in brain development, windows of heightened plasticity when experience strongly shapes neural architecture, parallels critical periods in cosmic evolution, such as the recombination era when atoms first formed, or the epoch when galaxies began to assemble. Both systems have specific windows when fundamental structures are established that constrain all future development. The brain's prediction capabilities, constantly forecasting likely future states based on past experience, mirror how physics uses current conditions and natural laws to predict future cosmic states. Both systems engage in model building that extends known patterns into unknown territories. Sleep researcher Matthew Walker describes sleep as the Swiss Army knife of health and well-being, performing diverse maintenance functions essential for optimal brain operation. Similarly, the universe undergoes phases that maintain conditions necessary for complexity, from stellar nucleosynthesis that creates essential elements to galactic recycling of materials through successive generations of stars. The mystery of consciousness itself, how subjective experience emerges from physical processes, parallels the mystery of cosmic existence. Why does anything exist rather than nothing? Both questions probe the boundary between physical description and existential meaning, between how and why. Physicist Max Tegmark has proposed that reality itself is fundamentally mathematical in nature, that physical structures are manifestations of mathematical relationships. This mathematical universe hypothesis suggests that the brain's ability to understand reality through mathematics is not coincidental, but reflects the actual structure of reality. The entropy of neural information processing, the transformation of ordered sensory input into highly processed, compressed, and integrated representations mirrors cosmic information processing, where physical interactions can be viewed as computations performed by the universe on its own states. Computer scientist Jürgen Schmidhuber suggests that the simplest explanation for the universe is that it represents a computation, a cosmic algorithm running according to simple rules that generate vast complexity. This perspective unites the computational nature of both cosmic evolution and neural processing. The phenomenon of neural reuse, where the brain repurposes existing structures for new functions, parallels how cosmic evolution repurposes existing elements and structures. The heavy elements forged in stars become components of planets, which become components of biological systems, which eventually form brains capable of understanding stellar nucleosynthesis, completing a remarkable circle of cosmic reuse. Throughout this exploration of parallels between the brain and the universe, a profound pattern emerges. The human brain does not merely model or understand the Big Bang. In a very real sense, it recreates it through organizational principles, developmental trajectories, and functional processes that mirror cosmic evolution. Each human brain recapitulates the fundamental patterns of the universe that created it. This is not mysticism but physics, the recognition that complex systems separated by vast differences in scale and substance nevertheless follow similar organizational principles when they process information, build complexity, and integrate diverse components into functional wholes. When you drift off to sleep tonight, remember that the dark theater of your mind is not merely a personal experience but a reflection of the cosmos itself. Your dreams, thoughts, and the very structure of your consciousness echo patterns established in the first moments of cosmic existence. Your brain is not just in the universe. It is of the universe, a microcosm that reflects the macrocosm through shared physical principles that transcend scale. The most profound implication of this connection is that consciousness itself may be not merely a product of cosmic evolution but an integral aspect of it, a phenomenon through which the universe achieves self-reference and self-understanding. Your awareness represents the universe becoming conscious of itself, completing a loop of creation and comprehension that spans 13.8 billion years. Each human brain recreates the Big Bang not as historical reenactment but as ongoing process, a continual unfolding of potential into actuality through principles of organization that connect the largest and smallest scales of reality. In this sense, the beginning of the universe is not relegated to the distant past but continues in the present moment, in the electrical, chemical, and quantum activities that constitute your conscious experience. This recognition transforms our understanding of both neuroscience and cosmology, revealing them not as separate disciplines but as different perspectives on the same fundamental processes. The emergence of complexity from simplicity, pattern from randomness, and meaning from mechanism. The universe is within us as much as we are within it, connected through principles that transcend the boundaries of skull and sky to unite mind and cosmos in an ongoing dance of creation.